Vamos a empezar hoy sentadas. Seated, you can be seated either if you feel comfortable on top of your knees or cross-legged, whatever feels good. I feel like I want to be here today. Is English okay for everyone? Yeah? Okay. So we'll start by closing our eyes, placing your hands palms down. If you desire a sense of grounding to the earth, or facing up if you're ready and feeling open to receive, and there's no right or wrong answer, never in my class. So wherever you are, honor that part of the journey. As you close your eyes, we'll begin to center ourselves on our breath, inhaling in and exhaling. Finding a sense of ease in the pace of your breath. Noticing how you feel in this present moment. As we walked in this door, I invite you to let anything that's on your mind or on your heart to melt away. Begin noticing how the breath can move you. So maybe the shoulders lift gently as you inhale. You can notice them settle down as you exhale. Noticing the space between your upper and lower molars. Can you relax your tongue? Can you let your lower jaw be a little bit heavier into gravity? Noticing how the breath can move our ribs. And I invite us today to find a deep awareness in all three dimensions. So not only do we feel the ribs maybe moving front to back as you inhale and exhale, but notice how the ribs expand left to right, right to left, on the diagonals and towards the back. Observing how the belly naturally moves in and out. And as we're here, in my yoga classes, I invite you to set a dedication. In Sanskrit, we call it a sankalpa for our practice today. So if you wish, you can bring your hands to heart center in prayer. You bring those palms to touch. And set a dedication for someone or something that may benefit from the energy we co-create together. Beautiful. Trusting that that dedication is coming true, we're going to open those eyes and inhale those arms up. Reach those arms up to the sky and exhale. Press the air down with those fingers. Tap the fingertips on the mat. And 2 more breaths like that. Inhale. And exhale. Really pressing the air, so extending beyond your fingertips. And 1 more. And press. Beautiful. We're going to take a gentle twist, placing that right hand across the leg and twisting towards the back, spiraling the body, staying gentle since we're just starting. And switch to the other side. Beautiful. And from here, we're going to transition into a child's pose towards the back. So In this pose, I'm sure this is like Yoga 101. If you've done it online, the knees can be either together or apart, and the toes touch, and we reach all the way forward. Reach, 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 reach. Maybe you want to rock the forehead side to side on the mat, massaging the forehead. And I tell this to Evelyn too, if you rock the forehead all the way to the side, you can massage the temple of your head, the side that sometimes carries extra tension. We're going to stay here for 3 collective breaths, gathering ourselves before we start moving. And one more breath, truly inviting a sense of length and space in your spine. So you're imagining the crown of your head is reaching all the way beyond the front wall. Your tailbone is reaching beyond the back wall as you take your last breath here. And when you're ready, we're going to come to all fours here, knees underneath the hips. Wrists underneath the elbows, elbows underneath the shoulders. And let's start by taking some circles of the hips one way. And it's totally normal if you hear some cracking. And the other way. And notice here again, my wish for all of us is to find ways to be kinder even as we're moving our bodies, kinder to ourselves, to our thoughts. Beautiful. And then we'll start taking some cats and cows, so looking up. And at your own pace, curling that spine. But I also invite us to find awareness of where our weight is in space. Because yoga can be very helpful for us as movers and as dancers to find deeper awareness in ourselves and in our bodies. And when we can find that on the mat, we can bring that into our dancing. 3 more wherever you are. And last one. And we'll stay here in our cat spine, tuck those toes, and we're going to take a big breath in, and as you exhale, floating tabletop, the knees come an inch off the mat, and we're gonna tap the right and left knees for 10. So here we wanna rotate through the hips. Yes, it's the knees that are tapping, but let's think of rotating the hips side to side. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when you're ready, extend those legs back, downward dog. In downward dog, we imagine that we have these tiny weights on our heels, and those weights are being pulled towards the earth, so our heels come towards the earth. We spread those toes, spread those fingers, shake the head no. Releasing the neck, nod the head yes. Let's take 3 collective breaths here. Inhaling in. And as you exhale, sensing the distribution of your weight. So do you feel there's more weight in your feet? Is there more weight in your hands? 2 more. And 1 more breath. Beautiful. We're going to flow a little bit from this downward dog. So let's lift up onto those tippy toes. And we're going to, as if a wave was going through our body, we're going to unravel into a plank and bring that all the way up to an upward facing dog, but the hips are not on the mat. And then we're gonna activate the core, so as if someone was gently punching you in the stomach. So feel like from the belly button, you can come all the way up. So you pike those hips, release those heels down, downward dog. We're gonna do 2 more of those. Inhale, roll through. Exhale, pause in this stretch. And inhale, exhale, coming back. Are we okay? Yes? And inhale, roll through. Inhale here. And exhale, pike those hips. And back. We're gonna do 1 more. Really finding as if you were speaking through your spine, right? What would your spine say if it could talk? That's really our goal, to find more articulation in our movement, which starts from the spine. Beautiful. We're gonna inhale the right arm up and take a gentle crossover. So the right arm comes to touch either the thigh or the shin, wherever you are, taking a twist here. 2 breaths. And then switch, let's lift that left arm and take a gentle twist. Beautiful, coming back to downward dog. We're going to step or hop towards our hands. Grabbing opposite elbows. I know I feel it in my arms. We did a lot of work there. So swing side to side, finding length in your side body. So we want to allow gravity to do more work for us. Relaxing into the support of gravity. Let's place those hands on the shins, flat back up. Weight comes towards the balls of the feet, flat back, release down, forward fold. And we're gonna roll up to mountain. So rolling up to standing in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale those arms up overhead. And come. It's okay. And we're gonna come down. Swan dive down. Hands on the shins, flat back. And release down. Step or hop back into plank. We're gonna flow through our first vinyasa. So we spread those fingertips. We're in plank. We bend those elbows, coming down, chaturanga. And pressing up to upward facing dog. If you're ready, I know for Evelyn, we work first on coming to Sphinx. Sometimes it's a lot of pressure on the back. So if you don't feel ready to come all the way up, it's totally okay. Big breath here. And then exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. We're gonna take that one more time, adding some poses in between. So step or hop to the front of the mat. Let's bring those feet to touch one another. So the ankles kiss each other. And we're gonna bend those knees, coming into our first chair pose. Inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. And I invite you to find an awareness in between these hands. I find myself sometimes it's helpful to visualize. So I've been talking a lot about this beautiful energy between these hands. So feel that. Feel like a gathering of energy between your fingertips, between those hands. And can we sink those hips a little deeper? Finding length past the crown, beautiful. And we're gonna sweep those arms back. Can you shift your weight to the toes and come into a flying chair for 3, for 2, squeeze those ankles together and straighten everything up, reach, 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 reach. We're gonna interlace those fingers and take a big side bend to the right. Breathing into that left lung a little bit more here. There's more space. And exhale, come back to neutral. Plie and come up and over something to the left. I'm gonna face here with everyone. And breathing into that right lung. Beautiful, coming back. We're gonna do that one more time. Again, length, 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 and up to the right, up and over, breathing into that left lung, that left kidney, and come back to neutral. One more time. Can you find more freedom in those hips, right? So the more you let those hips come to the right, the more you can send those arms to the left as we breathe into the right side body. Beautiful, coming back to neutral. And we'll swan dive down. This time, let's keep those knuckles on the mat flat back. Release down. Step or hop back into plank. Spreading those toes and those fingers through chaturanga to upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. Let's bend that left knee, taking a stretch on the right leg a little bit deeper. And switch. So really finding that awareness of the sensation of that left heel reaching towards the mat as you relax that right knee. And normal downward dog. Let's take a moment to notice how we feel. Beautiful. Let's bring those legs to touch behind us. Are we doing okay? Yes? Let's lift that right leg up. Take some ankle circles one way, warming up those feet, the soles of the feet. And ankle circle the other way. Beautiful. And bend the knee, opening up this three-legged dog. And allow the weight of the right leg to help you find a stretch on the core muscles on the right side. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit of a stretch in front of the right hip. And we're going to breathe 3 times as a collective. Inhaling in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And on the exhale, let's draw circles outwards with the knee. And let's imagine that we're adding honey or some kind of like softening to that hip joint as we're drawing those circles, and switch. So let's draw circles inwards, imagining that you're massaging that hip. Beautiful. And then coming up, three-legged dog. Inhale, exhale, send that knee to nose, curve that spine. Can you reach that knee all the way to your nose? And come back, three-legged dog. Inhale. One more. Reach, knee to nose. And let's come through into a runner's lunge. So the right leg's in front. We're going to inhale again, gathering maybe a beautiful flowers in between your arms. And we're going to play a little bit with our balance here. So let's reach up just like we did earlier and reach to that right. And come back to center. Reach up and over to the left. And come back to center. Planting that heel down, we'll meet in warrior one. So we want to rotate so that leg is on a 45-degree angle. We can put that heel down. Yes. Beautiful. So what can we find here? Can we find more length beyond those fingers? Space between our toes. Maybe we tuck our chin, finding length in the back of our neck. Can we take an exhale, dropping those shoulders another inch? Beautiful. And when you're ready, we'll open up warrior two. Reach forward, reach, 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 and reverse that warrior. Painting something beautiful with that arm up overhead. And come back. 2 more. Reach. And for us, right, we're dancers. So our yoga practice is going to look like a dance sometimes. And I invite you to find as much movement as you want. So these poses don't have to be static. Beautiful. And then we're going to come forward, placing that forearm on the knee. Reaching the opposite arm up. And if you feel ready to do so, you can release this arm down. Beautiful. So those fingertips are reaching towards the earth. And I invite you to find the contact between the back side of this right arm and your right leg. So notice that skin to skin connection and find a sense of support here. We're gonna breathe here. As we exhale, we're gonna draw a circle with that upper arm. Exhale, and 2 more circles. Really finding a stretch on this left side body. And we're gonna pause here, arm up overhead. Can we bring this other arm to meet it for 3, 2, and come up. Woo. Release. Straighten this front leg. And we're gonna come into a full triangle. So either placing the arm on the shin, left arm up overhead, or you can reach again those fingers on the inside, this front leg. And we wanna really imagine as if we were in between 2 walls. So we don't wanna rotate. We wanna, as much as we can, allow that heart to shine up towards the sky. Let's stay here for 3 collective breaths. One more. Beautiful. When you're ready, we're gonna come back, warrior 2. And windmill those arms down, lunge. We'll take 1 more spiral so that left palm is on the mat. We're spiraling open to this back leg, the right leg here. Big belly breath in, soft belly breath out as we come back, framing this front leg. Send the right leg back into our plank. Taking a vinyasa, so coming through chaturanga to upward facing dog. Big breath in. And sweet breath out into downward dog. How are we? Are we feeling okay? Let's pause here in downward dog. 3 collective breaths. And actually, I'm gonna come around, so we'll stay right there in downward dog to find a fuller expression of this pose. Are you doing okay? Yeah. Can we rotate the insides of these elbows towards the front? So placing fuller contact in those palms. And yeah, so we want to feel this. Like you're rotating. Yes. Do you feel a difference in the? Beautiful. And reaching these ankles towards the earth. Do you feel that? Do you feel the stretch? But do you feel the relax? That you can relax, softening a little bit more here?
It hurts.
It hurts? Okay. Taking it slowly. And breathing into the sides of your hips. And here too, imagine that you can rotate these insides of the elbows towards the front. So like this. So that activates the shoulders a little differently. Here too, if you imagine rotating the insides of the elbows towards the front. Yeah, take a pause if you need it. I know. Let's all meet in child's pose before we take the other side. I'm trying to get this to... It's okay. I'm just gonna do this. Beautiful. Let's gather ourselves, 3 collective breaths here. And let's take a moment, go back to what you wrote down, and remember one of those moments where you could have been kinder to yourself. And right now, let's reimagine, let's rewrite that memory, and imagine yourself being kinder in that moment. What would you have said to yourself? What would you have done? Beautiful. Trusting that in rewriting that memory, you're building new neural patterns in your brain so that the next time something similar happens, you choose to be kinder to yourself. And whenever you're ready, we'll come back to meet in our downward dog, unraveling, coming through all fours, pressing up to our downward dog. Shake the head no, nod the head yes, spreading those toes, those fingers. Again, noticing the contact. Can we be softer with the earth? Can we feel the sense of gravity and still choose to move in a way that's kind to ourselves? And when you're ready, we'll bring those feet to kiss one another behind us, lifting the left leg now, 3-legged dog, taking some ankle circles. Maybe wiggling those toes and ankle circles the other way. And then when we're ready, we'll bend that knee. Allow the weight of the knee to create a stretch along the left front part of the hip, and we'll pause here. I know I'm shaking too for 3 collective breaths, allowing that stretch to just happen. Can we press into those palms? One more breath. I'm right there with you. And we can start to draw circles with that knee. And again, imagining if you were putting honey between your femur, right? Your big leg bone and your hip joint. So what does that experience feel? As if you had honey that's massaging the hip joint, and draw some circles the other way. Does that make the movement quality smoother? Maybe you move a little slower. And then when you're ready, 3-legged dog, extend past that heel, inhale, and exhale, cat spine, knee to nose. And inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. And last one. Curl, 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 and we'll meet in our lunge. Left leg in front this time. And what are you gathering between your arms? Sometimes I like to imagine this is coming from Tai Chi, like an energy ball. Maybe it's golden light between my hands. And feeling that support, we're gonna inhale up, exhale, side bend to the left. And center. Feeling length in the spine. So the energetic path is you're going out through the spine, up to the right. And come back, center. Are we okay? Victoria, are we okay? I'm not watching you, I can't see. Coming into our warrior 1.
No, we're good.
We're good?
We're just still good.
Are you okay?
Yes.
So we're rotating, that back heel is planted into the earth. Can you notice something different here? Maybe you feel like you can go a little deeper. Maybe you feel the outside edges of your feet a little bit more this time. And let's inhale together. Make fists with those palms, shoulders up, and exhale, release. What's happening? Are you guys laughing? Let's open up Warrior Two. Reaching forward, we're gonna reverse the warrior. Now I wanna know what the joke is. And come forward. And last one. And then come to place either the elbow on this left leg, or we can extend to side angle pose, fully reaching the middle finger towards our heel. And again, this is almost a prep for the triangle pose. So can you open up your heart space as if you were looking, allowing that heart to shine up to the sky? Beautiful. We're gonna exhale, take one rotation of the arm. And again. And one more. Placing the arm above the head. Let's frame our beautiful faces. Inhale and come up. Warrior Two, release. Straighten that front leg. And we'll reach forward in our triangle pose, placing either the hand on top of the leg or on the inside part of our shin. Again, inviting this opening as if you were in between two walls. We'll stay here for 3 collective breaths. It's totally normal if you feel more tight on one side than the other. Looking up towards your middle finger if you can. And then coming back up, Warrior Two. And coming to frame this front leg, lunge, we'll rotate, placing that right palm on the mat. Left fingers rotate. Yeah. Can you go a little bit deeper in those hips now that we're warmer? And then we'll come to place that palm on the mat. Plank. Shift the weight over. We'll come into our vinyasa to upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. Let's place those knees on the mat. We'll come into puppy posture. So our legs stay the same and we crawl those arms out. So either the chin can be on the mat, or the forehead. Being gentle with ourselves, this can be a lot on the upper back. Two more breaths. And when you're ready, we'll come to a seated position. Kneeling position, and we're gonna take a pose that is very difficult for me, but maybe you guys have more mobility in the spine here. So we'll come to cradle our heels. This is called rabbit. So we'll hold our heels and we'll place the crown. The intention is to place the crown of the head as close as you can to the knees, and then you'll lift those hips up. So we wanna create like a turtle shape or a C shape with that spine. So for me, this is as far as I can go, but some people have a lot more stretchability here. Beautiful. So we're gonna counter the stretch we just did for 3 breaths. And whenever you're ready, we're gonna release that. How are we doing? Do we feel like we wanna move more? Do we wanna stretch? 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 No more moving? Okay. So let's come into what's called hero's pose. I'll face you. So we'll widen our stance of our knees, and if it's available to you, you'll allow the lower legs to come on the outside. This can be enough. When I first started, this was really intense for me, so you can stay here. If this is okay, we're going to slowly walk to place our full back. Maybe you can place your full back there, or you just want to stay here. On the elbows. So we'll take a stretch. Yeah, if you can, place the full back on the mat. This can be a deep stretch for the front quadriceps, so take it easy. Evelyn, are you okay? Yeah.
I also forgot until I just started that I can't breathe with my nose and chest.
Right, I think allergies are bad today.
It's hard to do these things, and I'm like, I'm struggling.
Okay. Yeah. It's okay. If you want, you can take a child's pose or forward fold. And as much as you can, send love and care to those quadriceps, to your knees. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. One more breath. And slowly, when you're ready, we'll come out of this. Are we okay? And release. We're going to take a seat. Bring those feet to touch in what we call butterfly as dancers. In Sanskrit, it's this long name, Supta Baddha Konasana, but we'll just call it butterfly. And let's start by bringing those feet a little closer, if you can. And we'll use our elbows, so placing those palms on top of the feet, allowing those elbows to press. So we're gonna take a breath in, and exhale, long spine as you use those elbows to press those knees towards the earth. And then as far as you can with a straight, long spine, and then release the head to take a full stretch here. One more collective breath. And slowly roll back up. And now we're going to reach those feet a little further away. So we make the diamond shape bigger. And if you want, you can stay here with those arms, or we can reach them up overhead. Again, sending that tailbone towards the earth. We reach as if we had a thread on the crown of our head, flat back as we come as far as we can, activating those muscles in the glutes, and then we can bow down. Maybe you can place your forehead in your feet. I know it sounds so crazy, but can you use your feet as a pillow for your forehead? Relaxing the back of your neck. One more breath here. And slowly roll back up. And we'll extend those legs in front, forward fold. Shake them out a little bit. And if you feel tension in the lower back, you can always take this with a bend in your knees if you feel that pull, but otherwise we can have them straight, and we'll flex those feet, inhale those arms up. And again, imagining you are going up and over something in your lower belly. We'll reach up and over. Maybe you touch those feet. I think we're almost all there. And then bow the upper body down. And if you want a deeper stretch, use your hands wherever they are to pull yourself gently a little bit more. 3 collective breaths here. And when you're ready, we're gonna point those toes as we roll back up. Point those toes. And this next time, let's take one breath here. Inhale. Cleansing, exhale. This next time, let's use those hands on the mat. We're pointing those feet, and we're gonna reach down towards those feet. Taking a stretch. Maybe we're feeling a little bit more of a stretch on the front sides of those ankles. Finding magnetic energy between the tip of your big toe all the way up to the inside of your pelvis, so those legs are magnetically attracted one to the other. Beautiful, and slowly roll up. We're gonna come into one more exercise before Shavasana. So reaching those arms up, we're going to rock back onto our backs of our sit bones, coming into this boat pose. Let's create this power pose with our fingers, and we're gonna tap to the left and to the right, activating our central core muscles for 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, I'm feeling the shake, 2, 3, 2, and 1. Extend everything. Can we take a circle with those arms before we release? For 3, for 2, 1, release everything down. Whew. Hug those knees to the chest. And allow them to fall towards the right. Twisting, taking a spiral in the spine, looking to your left hand, taking a full twist here. Can you imagine someone is cradling your shoulder blade? So your left shoulder blade, as if someone you love is holding you by maybe the arm, gently resting their hand underneath your shoulder blade. Can you allow the head maybe to rotate and spiral just a little bit more? Allow those hips to spiral in the opposite direction. And when you're ready, we'll come to the other side, gently allowing those knees to fall to the left, gaze to the right. Again, imagine someone you love has a caring hand underneath. Now it's your right, could be both shoulder blades, but your right shoulder blade. Does that invite you to soften a little bit more into the earth? And whenever you're ready, come back to center. We're gonna take a happy baby. So either holding those heels on the inside, or you wrap those arms to the outside. If you want, you can rock side to side, massaging your lower back. Does it feel better? It feels good? Yay. And if you want, you can take one side and then the other. Sometimes I like that because I feel a deeper stretch. So you extend one leg. And then if you're taking one side, switch to the other. And taking a mental picture of how we feel in this present moment. Noticing the pace of our breath. And if you want to take one more posture, one more pose before Shavasana, now is your time. Otherwise, we'll extend those legs. Coming into our final pose, you can also have the knees bent with the soles of the feet on the floor if that feels better. Or coming into what I call butterfly. Closing those eyes. Coming back to the breath. In yoga, we use this moment to find a new equilibrium in our bodies. After all the changes we just went through, I'm gonna come around and offer a light touch with my hands, just to find a little bit more ease in the body. Noticing what feels good. And I want us now to go back and reflect on our week and think about 3 moments where we were kind to ourselves. Where we offered ourselves grace. And notice that in those moments where we held ourselves in grace and we offered ourselves grace, that's a choice we can make anytime we want. And before we start moving again, I want us to take a moment to honor our collective choice to be here together. Find a sense of peace and gratitude. And I want us to notice what it feels like in our bodies, in our minds, in ourselves, to have chosen to be kind to ourselves. And with that thought, we can begin to bring movement to the body, wiggling those toes, those fingertips, feeling like we're waking up from a nap. Maybe we sense a newness in our body, a softness, an openness. That's something we can always come back to. Taking a big stretch, maybe a good morning stretch with those arms up if that feels good. Maybe we yawn. Or maybe you feel like you want to take a deep swallow. All of those signs are signs that you're resetting your nervous system. And then we'll slowly come to meet in a seat whenever you're ready. There's no rush. Beautiful. And when we're in our seat together, we're going to inhale those arms up overhead, gathering all that energy we co-created in between our palms, fingertips to fingertips. We draw a line through our center. I always do 3 to seal the practice, so 2 more. Inhale the arms up. What does it feel like to hold that kindness in between our palms? And last one, taking it in like your favorite ice cream. We touch our fingertips together and we tap our thumb to our forehead, our third eye, honoring our wisdom.